All right, so this isn't my usual setup. Fun fact, there are never not people in my house. Hey dumpster divers, and welcome back to a new episode of Who Are the Flops of 2024. So we're doing the top 20 flops of 2024 as voted for you guys. I've been doing these videos for a couple of years now. I ask you guys on like Instagram and like other social media platforms like to vote, and then I tally up those votes and make a list out of them, and then we start from like the least floppiest of the 20 all the way down to the most floppiest of the 20. So yeah, we're just gonna go through this floppy disc and see what you guys decided would be the worst ones for 2024, but this will be coming out in 2025. So we can look back and remember. I love this overhead lighting. It looks absolutely awful. And I'm wearing the sweater that I always wear for these videos, so keeping it consistent by giving you a very late video. For number 20 of the floppiest flops for 2024, it's that Disney Midnight Masquerade Ariel doll. Gorgeous face, right? Like, beautiful face. Even the concept art was absolutely beautiful, but then the execution was just so bad. She flopped. That's like the first Ariel doll that's just like sat on the website for a hot minute and hasn't sold. So that's when you know it's bad, when even Ariel isn't selling out. FYI, I do have a list of these on my iPad. You know, the iPad I use to draw stuff for gays, the girls and theys. Okay, and then for number 19, you guys were letting me know that you were not big fans of the 12 Days of Christmas Barbie for this year, which I will admit, the first one, when I first saw her, she was kind of like, you know, that's a lot. Then the second one came with pants, and I kept thinking about getting her, and then I just forgot and everything. And I know they're vintage vinyl, you know, like the original Barbies, which is great. I would like Silkstone for that price point and everything, but you know, Mattel, it's like give and take. And yeah, so this year she's just a little more dull than the other two, honestly. Like she's fine and everything, and they come with really cute accessories and stuff, but yeah, it is better to like wait around until they're on sale if you can. Okay, so number 18 is the Unicorn Academy dolls, and like they're fine. They're Playline dolls. They're very much like current day Playline dolls and everything. Like, I don't know, they have some articulation, some fabric pieces, which is just like printed on like that sateen looking fake satin fabric where it's really easy to just stamp and print designs onto. I know they have that super cunty unicorn that like shoots a light out of its head or something, and so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, the dolls are fine. Like I said, they're from Spin Master, was Spin Master the ones that made Mermaid High and absolutely failed us all by canceling them? So yeah, you lose points for that just for being Spin Master. Okay, and then it looks like number 17 is the 17-inch Jane doll from the Disney parks, because it could only be a Disney parks exclusive doll or something. I don't know. They said it had something to do with like the rights and how Tarzan works, because Tarzan's like a story, and like the people who own that property now are like weird about, I don't know. Anyway, Jane, the 17-inch doll, she was only available at the parks, whatever. A lot of people are disappointed because the availability did make her so hard. You know, it's kind of like a D23 situation where it's like you have to physically be there to go get her and then do all that stuff, and I get it. And then I do think for the price and everything, they should have included the umbrella and they should have included the hat. Like, she is very detailed, she's a very pretty doll. But if you're gonna do Jane and put everything in. These are really expensive dolls. I get it, and I get why she's on like the flop list. So 16 is the Pixlings, like fashion dolls. They're fine. I don't care about them. They look like Playline dolls to me, but they call themselves deluxe. They come with that super chunky packaging, and like they're fine. I do like their kind of fantastical like elements, you know, they do look like elevated enchantimals basically, but I didn't even know these were happening, to be honest. Like, they're not on my radar. And Moose Toys has a lot of audacity for charging that much for, you know, being Moose Toys and everything. You know, I agree, like, know your worth, but also, you know your worth. Okay, 15 is the 17-inch Asha doll from the Disney store. And she was a little flop Tina-y, you know, she was very accurate to the movie. Obviously, Asha only has one outfit the entire movie. They don't give her like a grand dress or a costume change or a personality or really anything. But yeah, and they spit the doll out like a year basically after the movie came out. So it was kind of like, you know, so I'm glad Asha fans did get that 17-inch limited edition doll. That's great. Would it have been better if it was a anatomically correct King Magnifico? Yes, but the Disney store is a bunch of cowards. 14 is something I don't super duper like necessarily. I don't think they need to be on the flop list, but they were brought up enough that they are. And that's the Barbie X new Nori dolls. You know, the like kind of like creepy inside eye BGD looking fashion dolls, you know, like the outfits were cute, the details were cute, it was very pink, it was very on theme. It was Barbie, right, who had like the super long giraffe neck and everything. And so, like, I don't know, I thought they were fine. And, you know, like Carlisle New Era, when he pulls back, there's some really good stuff there. Like when Carlisle's like, hey, I don't need to put everything on this doll, I think they come out really nice. I don't know, I like them. I don't think they're really that floppy, but I think I remember the price being crazy though. I don't remember the price, but you guys let me know. Right, 13 is the Barbie, Harley, and Ivy dolls. I like the Harvey and Ivy show for HBO Max. Like, it's a really funny show. The dolls I didn't really care for. They're very much like playline dolls, but they're being sold as collector dolls. Like, of course, dolls of superheroes, whatever, anti-heroes, whatever. They need to have articulation. They need to have all that stuff. And like, it was still very much the cheesy, like, print makeup, printed on details, print, cheapy sateen fabric, etc. And I think they were like, what, like 40 or 50 bucks each? You're basically paying that much for playline dolls. Like, that's all they were to me. They were just playline dolls. They didn't really have a lot going on. Number 12 is the Wicked Deluxe Glinda doll, which we all know the controversy behind it, blah, blah, blah. Oops, they accidentally printed the wrong site on it. Okay, like that's something I'd expect from Mattel at this point, because one, they either didn't like double check it, or they had like AI check it or something, because they are implementing AI into their packaging and everything now, like with the 2024 holiday dolls. So an oversight like this, I really hope it like kind of lit a fire under Mattel's ass, that maybe you guys should care just a little bit more about the integrity of your brand and not just like profit. But yeah, the deluxe Glinda doll, right? Like, the face is kind of Ariana Grande. We've seen so many doll customizers make the face actually Ariana Grande. And it's like that shower curtain, like cheapy material. I did get one with the original misprint packaging and everything, and she's like in the box. I haven't taken her out yet. I don't know if I will, because I want to keep the box. And I got the Fiero doll. So those are the only two dolls I got. But yeah, she was specifically called out. A lot of people like most of the Wicked dolls and everything, the Mattel Creations exclusive ones, the ones from Target, the ones from Walmart, etc. But yeah, Glinda was called out specifically for the shower curtain liner dress. A lot of people, this is how much I wasn't paying attention. A lot of people for number 11, they kept saying the Monster High Skulltimate Secrets dolls over and over and over again, and they were not on my radar even, so I don't even know what they're talking about. But maybe they were just like a step down from what Skulltimate Secrets was before, because you know, you get that big chunky surprise packaging and everything that people put like their chips and dip in and stuff, and it just makes me like think they must have dipped again, because you know, Mattel will like come out with like mid-shelf quality when they release something new, and then, you know, every subsequent one they take it, you know, the way they take it. And I mean, when I go into Target and stuff, if there's one thing that is always on the shelves still, and always on the shelves at Ross and like other like discount retailer stores, it's Skulltimate Secrets. I see them everywhere all the time. So they're not selling. Okay, so now we're getting into the top 10 biggest flops of the year. And we're starting off strong with those Monster High Sanderson sisters dolls from Hocus Pocus, and I agree, they're very Mattel. It's very like Monster High, so I don't know what a lot of people were expecting. They do look very playline. They look like lighter. They look cheesier. Disney Store did those Sanderson sister dolls a couple years back like a whole lot better and everything. And yeah, I don't know. I get why they were very flop-tina. A lot of people were excited for them, and if you love them and they are like that was it for you, like you're like, oh, this collaboration makes so much sense, because it does. Fantastic. I'm so glad you love them, but they were brought up so much specifically. Sorry, Johnny. So number 9 is the American Girl doll of the year for 2025 summer, just being, very basic, very playline, very, like Johnny said, she's marketable. She's easy to sell. She's a very easy doll to sell, where it's very like girl bossification, like millennial, like, yeah, girl, go make your money kind of a thing. She's the easiest doll to sell ever. So I get it, but she is boring. She is very boring. This one got brought up a lot, which is funny because they're new. So I didn't really think people had like crazy opinions on them, but everybody kept saying the Moana 2 dolls from Mattel. They're just like, it just kept popping up, Moana, Moana, Moana. And maybe it's because it's the end of the year and they're just fresh on people's minds, and that's why they kept getting brought up so much. But I mean, they're Hasbro dolls with a Mattel face. I've said it a million times. Mattel can make a really excellent face sculpt mold, but yeah, it is very much like the Hasbro kind of looking dolls. And like people in the doll community have discussed before, like they feel that Disney must have specific language in their contracts that says that any dolls outside of the Disney store or the Disney parks have to be a certain low quality, which is probably why Mattel is looking so Hasbro at this point. But then they do stuff like the Enchanted Elegance collection. They do stuff like the Disney 100 collector stuff and everything. So I don't know like how that contract's laid out or anything, or if it's even true. It could just be all conjecture and hearsay at this point. But yeah, it is very Hasbro, and the fact that they are so Hasbro makes me think that there is something written somewhere, because they're too Hasbro to not have like some kind of guidelines or something on them. Number 7 was Dream Besties, which I think is crazy, because in my little, like, what's that thing, like echo chamber bubble, whatever, we all loved Dream Besties. We were so excited. We were all like, no, this is it. Like, Barbie's back. They have fully clothed clothing, articulation, accessories, everything you could want. The $25 price point wasn't bad, and they came with so much. They felt kind of hefty when they came out. They were very stylized and everything, and so a lot of people were like super excited for them. But apparently a lot of people weren't excited for them either, because they just kept getting brought up. And the fashions aren't like crazy, amazing. Like the Brooklyn one, I was never a big fan of that Letterman jacket. And the Barbie with the gloves, I thought that was so cheesy. I don't get the gloves at all. Like, I don't know. They just, like, I took the gloves off immediately, and I love that doll like 100 times more. So that's just me though. But yeah, if you guys think Dream Besties is a flop, I would like to know why, because I thought they were going to be super popular, but they're already showing up at Ross, TJ Maxx. They're already off the shelves at a couple of my Walmarts and my Targets, after taking forever to get on the shelves, because they were selling out at first. Like, it was hard to get them, and now it's like nobody cares, which is like a whole thing in doll collecting. Like, that's a whole different video. Okay, number 6 is one I definitely agree with, and that is the return of Barbie Fashion Model Collection. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, we were so sad after 20 years of Robert Best's vision just being thrown out the window. It just was really going downhill that last year. And then they disappear for a couple years, make Barbie Fashion Model Collection stuff on eBay skyrocket, along with like, the greed from the and like resellers and everything. And then you come back and it's like flop central. Like, Robert Best is an amazing designer and concept and everything. So I know it's like Mattel's kind of like fucking up his vision for like the return, or maybe Robert's tired. I don't know. It's been 20 years of like, you can only do silhouettes between like the 1950s to like the mid 1960s, and you can only do this, and it's very limiting. So I could see after 20 years being kind of like tired with that, and it's kind of like being reflected in the execution of these dolls. Definitely not the concept, because the concepts are still great. They're still the Robert Best sketch, which is beautiful. That black and pink dress one, compared to the concept sketch, and the way it was executed just didn't come out right. She's very bulky. She doesn't feel that good. Even when I had her, like, I have both of them in person, and they don't feel like Barbie Fashion Model Collection dolls to me. They just feel like heavy flops. Okay, and then this was just a general one for number 5. It was just Monster High collector dolls. Just in general, just people weren't really vibing with everything. Like that one Squid Game girl, or like the Creature from the Black Lagoon is probably a little bit more popular, because it's more classic, like Turner Classic Movie kind of like scary monsters. Universal, whatever. Yeah, people just kept saying Monster High Collector, and I'm just not paying enough attention to Monster High, I think, because other than like the Squid Games girl and the other one I just mentioned, I can't think about any other Collectors that came out this year. I guess there was some Addams Family stuff, I think, right? I don't know. I didn't watch Wednesday, but I'm sure it's great. Okay, so number 4, these kept popping up a lot, and I thought they were popular, so I think I have my pulse on like the doll community and what's going on, and apparently I don't. But it was the Mattel Descendants dolls, except for Brandy. Like, so many people were like, except Brandy. We loved Brandy. But they didn't like the Mattel Descendants dolls, which I thought they were fine, right? Maybe they were like $30 for like what would have been Playline a couple years ago. But yeah, it was like they were articulated and they had fully clothed fabric, and they had like these cute little closet sets, which I kept thinking I wanted to buy, but I'm also all seeing those at like Burlington Co Factory now, and I think I saw one at TJ Maxx. But like, so maybe it was a little flop. Tina, outside of Brandy was definitely the best part of like that whole thing. I didn't watch them. I don't know anything about the lore after the whole Cameron Boyce thing and everything. I don't know if I want to like, I don't know. It's sad. Okay, so now we're getting into the top 3 biggest flops of the year. And would it have been a 2024 flop list if we didn't include the Bratz x Mean Girls collaboration? Like, that was such a mishandle. We all know how hard it was to get. It's hard for me to talk about it because I do have all 4, but I only have all 4 because one of my friends lucked out and got Katie, which is the one I wanted the most. And I kept saying if I didn't get all 4, I was going to sell the ones I got because I wanted the whole collection. I got all 4. I can't sell them now. I'm stuck with them, but they're beautiful. Beautiful dolls, right? Obviously, they're Bratz quality. MGA does decent quality for the price point most of the time, and which we'll talk about. They were fine when they were the prices they were, like $60, like whatever. Not the $750 somebody paid for a Katie on eBay. I saw that listing end, and I was like, you guys are crazy. Like, it's not that serious. It would have been cheaper for you to customize your own Katie Haring doll with all of her outfits from the movies than it would have been to just buy that doll. But Bratz fans, I've seen what you guys will do, and it's impressive. Like, I'm scared of you guys. But yeah, huge flop, especially after all the Kylie dolls. Like, all these talking points have been talked to death at this point because I'm always late to the party. But MGA must hate money or something, because how are you going to push all those Kylie dolls, put them everywhere, make them widely available, nobody wants them, but then something like Mean Girls, who has had a reputation for years, has stayed consistent as a brand for over 2 decades at this point, and you're not going to invest in that? Like, that's dumb as shit. Even if they were like a Target exclusive, a Walmart exclusive, an Amazon exclusive, and you know, like the limited series run thing was just dumb as shit, dude. Like, I would love to have met the person in charge of like market research for MGA at that quarter, and just look them in the eye, not shake their hand because they don't, but look them in the eye and be like, what's it like being one of the biggest flops of the year? Number 2, the Mycene dolls that came back. I'm not surprised. Some people do like them. I do hear about them. Even me having them in person, I'm like, all right, they're not as bad as I thought. But they were $40. They came with no extra outfits or accessories, which is what Mycene is like known for. And then the makeup is very much the very, 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 very first Mycene dolls, which is fine. But that's not how people remember the Mycene dolls. They remember incredibly cunty makeup, like Botox face, like all that stuff, like beautiful, beautiful Y2K looking crazy asses. And it was such wasted potential. While I am glad that Mattel did acknowledge Mycene, because as much as we would love for them to redo Mycene the way MGA is redoing Bratz, Mattel never will. One, because shareholders, blah blah blah, they're cowards, whatever. But all the money and everything and all the lawsuits from that time and everything, I'm not surprised that Mattel would stay away from all that and not want to deal with it, especially Isaac Larian being very litigious and everything and just super annoying. It is still cool that Mattel did acknowledge the Mycene dolls in some way, even if the execution was awful. Like, Madison's probably the best one out of all of them, And yeah, she looks like she's in a Sandstorm Darude music video, like a DJ that has to go like bust down the firewall and put it all on a floppy disk or whatever. But that's it. Chelsea 100% doesn't look Y2K at all, and that sucks because she's my favorite girl. And Barbie is probably like the most Y2K looking ass, except for like the slip bell bottom things. I don't know where those came from, but she does have the Disney Channel like fashion guru hats that all the fashion girlies on the Disney Channel at that time would have wore, which I always hated those hats, but they are very Y2K fashion. So yeah, I could see them being one of the biggest flops of the year. Yeah, like I said, price point, execution, just, and I've been saying this for years. If Mattel wants to make money, you know that A-frame house? Bitch, remake that. Remake it so we can buy that house all over again with all the furniture included. And I bet you we would pay like $500 for that house easy. Like you could sell that on your website. Like when you guys sold Miss Fold Up a couple years ago and then you resold Miss Fold Up again with like a doll and new outfits and stuff. People want that. So I don't know. I don't know what Mattel's market research is, but the fact that it even took them that long to do like a superstar like redo and everything, you know, Mattel, what are you doing? Do you not like money? Do you not want our money? I'll give you my money if you do something good, you know, bare minimum. That's all I'm asking of you guys. Honorable mentions. One of the things that was voted on to be the floppiest thing of 2024 was me. That kept popping up. I love that so much. I think that's so funny. Be like, yeah, the doll daddy, huge flop for 2024. And I agree, you know, grad school is eating me alive and you guys are maybe getting a video every 6 months. So yeah, huge flop 2024, the doll daddy. The Maeve Riley doll, obviously a huge flop for 2024 because the price kept changing and stuff, and people did get store credit to cover that misprint or whatever on the pricing, which Mattel just loves misprints this year. And I'm glad because she was an objectively pretty doll. She had a very fun, very modern, very current outfit. She's pretty. She reminded me of Renee Rapp. Oh, another flop for 2024 is the lack of Totally Spies dolls or Mermaid Magic dolls. Like, just kind of floppy, you know. I would like to see the Mermaid Magic girls. Haven't fully watched the thing. I like the dude with the little eyebrow slit. Great, awesome. Make more of that. And obviously Totally Spies dolls with some articulation and everything would be really cool. I'd like to see them beat the shit out of each other while being super fashionable. Another honorable mention were those Roblox dolls, the Royale High. I know nothing about Roblox. There was one that was kind of like mermaid themed, and I kind of liked her, but they do have weird like Slenderman faces or smile or whatever. It was like a meme on the internet. Yeah, they kind of remind me of that. Very flop Tina. I love Ariel. We all know how much I love Ariel. And the Disney Junior toys were a little floppy just because some of the dolls were a little spooky duke, you know, because it is that very toddler like Disney Junior proportions and everything. But like some of the figurines, awesome, adorable, like so cute. But yeah, some of the dolls were a little spooky duke. Ken Couture, the blue one or whatever, that got brought up a couple times. Was that this year? God, I feel like that was like 5 years ago. Anyway, he's all blue and he has like the Ozempic face mold and everything Tate, which I love. Love the Tate face sculpt. And yeah, I get it. Like it's Ken Couture, so you know, like the go-to would be like make him blue. And I'm sure there's some great pieces in there and everything. Oh, and then finally for the honorable mentions, it's those LUV dolls. Like super cute, right? Fashions are a little dated. They're shrunken down in scale, so they're not fully like 12-inch fashion dolls. And they were a little expensive for what they were, but they were articulated and they had details and they had really good fashion packs. And I liked them, but I never picked one up and I don't really hear people talk about them anymore. So yeah, they were a little bit of a flop. So here we go. The biggest flop of 2024 voted by you guys. Obviously, they haven't been mentioned this entire time. We knew exactly where this was going. Rainbow High. She has fallen from grace. She is no longer that girl. She is... It's sad to see. Rainbow High was that bitch. Like, everybody, when they first came out, they're like, it's those Betty Boop looking, like, alien heads, like, blah, blah, blah. And then people changed their tune very quickly when they saw the amount of detail, the accessories, the play sets, the show was good, like everything. It just had so much going for it. And they were a little expensive, but they came with like outfits and articulation and stands and just everything they came with. It was like kind of worth it, but it, you know, it's hard because it was more for like collectors, because like not every parent's gonna see like a $36 doll and be like, sure kid, why not? And not only that, but because the clothes were so detailed and so fashionable and everything, like they're not exactly the easiest dolls to dress. Got to take off their hands to put on some of their clothing. And my Bella's hand broke in like the unboxing video I made of her, you know. And then obviously those Rainbow High littles are just little disgusting mogwais, like disgusting gremlins. They are so ugly, so hideous. So listen, little kids, they deserve nice things. And if a little kid is in the store and they look at that little gremlin and they're like, oh my God, yes, thank you. This is everything I've been living up to in my 5 years of existence on this planet. Thank you, MGA. You are a god. This is the best thing that's ever been given to me. Then sure, it's all been worth it. But nobody's ever done that ever. Like I said, it's just really sad to see. I loved Rainbow High. I'm so glad they still have Sunny around and everything, because Sunny's my favorite girl. Amaya Rain was my other favorite girl, and she ain't it. It was gonna be a flop. We knew it was coming. It's been so bad. Those little like kaleidoscope glitter legs, like all that shit. It's sad to see. So I guess that's how we're ending 2024. Shocker. All right, guys. So that's it. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, what was missing, what wasn't, etc. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Comment, algorithm, numbers, subscribers, shit like that. I cuss too much. The algorithm doesn't like me anyway, and I don't post consistently. But yeah, just let me know who you thought was the floppiest thing ever. I agree that number one, Rainbow High deserves that spot. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video, where we're going to be positive and we're going to start off 2025 with our favorites of 2024. Bye. I'm filming at work. I'm on my lunch because there's always people in my house, and I can't, like, there's never not people in my house. It's insane. The other day I came home and there was a dog in the house, and I was like, who the fuck's dog is this? I've never seen this dog in my life. And now I think I can hear somebody outside that door rummaging through the racks of like extra stock that we have. Also, this is why I don't like top lighting. Look at that. Does that look like a bald spot to you? Don't answer that. I don't want to know. Shut the fuck up.